Welcome to the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sports Hub podcast presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics and Lake Sumter State College. I'm Kyle Coppola. Thanks for joining us today. I am joined by David and Annie Iturrino. They are the owners of Mount Dora Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Having us.
Yeah, you guys have an amazing story. I was really drawn to your story. I saw it in the Lake and Sumter Style magazine, and I was like, I have to have you guys on. I don't know who wants to start, but I would love to hear your story. If you want to start from the top, David, how did this all get started?
It actually started a long time ago. So I was a ref at the time, and her daughter did karate. And I don't know if she was maybe 12 at the time or so, but I was reffing, and I happened to see her. Mm-hmm. And then from there, it was like, oh, wow, it's pretty cool. From there, it started.
Yeah. We were friends for 6 months, just talking on the phone and just getting to know each other from a friendship level in the tournaments, and then it took off.
Yeah. I didn't, and it wasn't that I was wanting to date or anything. It was just I want to meet great people, and that's what I want to do in my life. So it was actually pretty cool.
And then I brought him to Lake County.
Yes. Very culture shock.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
So, and I lived in Orlando, and then because my mom moved down here, and I kind of followed her afterwards, and then I came here, and I'm like, this is not for me. That's actually what I told her. I said, I don't like this. Yeah. And I kind of regret, I take back that I said that, because now I don't see myself not in Lake County. I love this town.
And you've set up a fantastic program here in this town, Mount Dora Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Tell us a little bit about your program and what you offer.
We have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program, self-defense, fitness program. We started out 650 square feet back in 2013, and we're just now right around 9,500 square feet.
Yes, something like that, if you count the bathrooms.
Yes, we have
a lot more space.
Exactly.
Yeah, there is space, yes.
After-school program. We have a nonprofit, women's program.
So you got a lot going on over there for sure. It didn't start out that way for you. Of course, you had the 650 square feet, but even to get to that point was a challenge. Can you tell us about that?
The day we signed the papers was the day we realized that I was losing my full-time job, and it was, oh no, what do we do? So I found another job, and we opened the doors. And within about 3 months, our income just wasn't making it. So we moved into one of our students' houses, and basically,
yeah. And the crazy part about it is that no one knew that we were going through a struggle, because
only one family.
Yeah, we wanted to. I don't want someone to feel bad for me or anything like that, for pity. Our job is to come here and to help, and us as coaches has to step it up a little bit more, And I think that's where I think I learned the most is that sometimes I don't want to talk about the problem. I just want to go out and fix the problem instead of asking for handouts. I don't want to do that, Mm-hmm. I'm very, my faith has a lot to do with my belief in God. Has a lot to do with this, and I need to depend on Him before I depend on anybody else. Then I depend on my wife. So yeah.
Well, you obviously have a really close bond, and not just with each other, with God, and I guess you also offer Bible studies at your facility.
Yeah.
Every Friday, I have a women's Bible study. We open it to anybody. I have about 8 women that come consistently, and I only think 2, maybe 3 of us go to the same church. Mm-hmm. The more God can pour into me, the better person that I can be, the better wife, coach, friend. That was our foundation. In the beginning, like right after everything finally started going back the right way, then I got hit with cancer, and then my husband had to have an emergency surgery, and then a motorcycle accident, and no matter what happened, we just said, okay, God, you're going to bring us through no matter what. And the only way that I know to stay on top of that is keep pouring into it. So my downtime, I want my faith.
Yes. And to add to that is we're actually adding not something to our plate, but something that I'm real passionate about. It's actually with couples, like they're going through a struggle with their marriage and stuff like that. I think that's our next journey.
Yeah, we're working with Pastor JP from Life Point. We're going to become, I don't remember the exact term of it, but certified Christian marriage mentors.
Nice.
So we're not just going to be, hey, let me help your marriage. We have the simplest program, and we're going through it with him, and just one more to be able to help.
Yeah. It's exciting that you guys are adding programs and everything. It's a fantastic thing you got going on for a lot of people who are coming into like jiu-jitsu or just the dojo for the first time. What can they expect as far as that goes?
I'm gonna answer it again.
Go for it.
Well, the number one thing is I want everyone to know this is a family gym. There's for everybody. And, if you see UFC, to the naked eye, it's like, oh, wow, that's brutal. That's this, that's that. That's a different aspect of what we do. We try to do, for women, it's, like the rape prevention. We want to teach them the stay on top of things as in, keep guard. And even though you may be smaller, this would be better for you. So it's more of a, if you want to learn, if you like chess, this is chess for you, all the pieces. If you don't know chess, it's just like basically protecting yourself, and basically, so.
I think one aspect of our program that, I feel solidifies us is at our gym, you don't have to go with the opposite sex. And, in the beginning, we took a lot of criticism. Oh, no, they need to. And it's like, no, you don't know their past. You don't know that this woman who started with us was beat by her husband for multiple years. The last thing she wants to do is go with another man. Will we build them to that? Sure. If not, it's okay. At least I know that I'm giving her something that she feels more confident to protect herself. In most places, your training partner is your training partner. Too bad. We don't allow cussing. We don't allow people getting undressed on the side of the mat. We have 3 bathrooms. Go to the bathroom to change. Nobody needs to see all that.
See, people, when they always think of themselves when they think, well, why not? Okay, think of to the parents that have kids, that that's not inappropriate. That's, you don't do that. And so this is for everybody. We're the first ones to follow our rules. This is not you do it. This is you. We do that to a T, and I want our students to know that we lead with example. We're in the front line. We're there. So everything I say to do or ask to do, I do, so you can see how it's done.
And you both, you're hard-headed. I don't know if you're hard-headed or not, but you deal with a lot of challenging situations, kids from all sorts of walks of life, some kids from some really tough situations. How mentally do you prepare for that? I mean, it's just, some of this is really challenging stuff that you're having to sort of get into.
So prior, I was a drill instructor at the sheriff's office. So having that exposure to that, where they were either court ordered to go through the program, or parents were like a cry for help. I knew at that moment, and that was early 2000, that my calling is to reach out to these kids. These kids are our future. And if you don't have a heart to say, ooh, I can help him, or I can help her, or how can I talk to this child so he hears me, but he's hearing the same thing mom and dad are telling him, but he's going to listen to coach, or she's going to go, oh, wait, this kid is bullying me, or I just got attacked, but I can't tell my mom. How can I talk to someone? It's giving that channel. I don't really think we've ever sat down and really mentally prepared for it, besides God, help me with this, give me the words, feed me. What do I need? How can I handle that?
And on me, it's I grew up 9 brothers, 6 sisters. I grew up in New York City, Brooklyn. There's fighting all the time, so it was okay for me. And the kids that nobody want, those are the ones I want. That was me.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that in our next segment. We're going to take a short break here on the Sports Hub. We'll be back right after this.
Is pain or restricted range of motion keeping you on the sidelines? Get back in the game with expert orthopedic care from UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics provides robotic-assisted surgical joint repairs and replacements, post-operative care, and inpatient rehabilitation services, all close to home, right here in Lake and Sumter counties. And for those unexpected injuries, UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics offers convenient walk-in and same-day appointments. To learn more or to schedule an appointment with one of their specialists, call 352-323-5665.
We are back here on the Sports Hub podcast. We are talking right now with Mount Dora Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy. We've got David and Annie with us. Thanks for coming on. David, who do we have here?
This is my granddaughter, Amelia.
Hi, Amelia.
Say hi.
Hi. Yeah, Amelia needs a nap.
Yeah.
You guys obviously big on family. David, you have I guess 6 sisters and 3 brothers.
9 brothers.
9 brothers. Wow. So you grew up in a heck of a household, I would say.
Yes. I was the youngest, so I think it's almost you gotta learn how to fight there. So and you tired?
Yeah.
So we're blessed with the opportunity with our job that we get to watch her 4 days a week. Our daughter is a surgical nurse, so we get to watch her while she works.
Annie, I wanted to talk a little bit about the what you guys do with the police officers in the area. You guys have a Back the Blue type thing that you do at the academy.
Yes, sir. So I can't take initial credit for it. There's a program called Adopt a Cop. And I know they're tight on funding and they were seeking more funding. So, after speaking with my husband, knowing how big our area is for law enforcement, we came up with a program called Back the Blue. Mm-hmm. So any law enforcement officer within Lake County is able to train for free until they turn blue belt. And then after that, it's like $60 a month. So it's a reduced rate. Our goal is to equip them with additional training besides what they get at their office or their sheriff's office or PD, and as well as what they've learned in the academy. It goes that extra step, and we take the blindfold off that yes, you're a cop, but nobody else knows you're a cop here, so you don't have to worry about the ego. And we want you to go home to your family.
Yeah. So
what can we do to treat you some of the stuff that's happening on the street, real life, that you don't get or you don't get on a consistent basis?
Mm-hmm. You guys have gotten national attention with your gym as well. Can you talk a little bit? 27 first place overall finishes, looks like 17 second place overall finishes in the New Breed Jiu-Jitsu Federation. So talk a little bit about that. Your gym, it's taken off, man. I love to see it.
Okay, well, take over.
You got it.
All right. So we have everyone who wants to compete, we let them compete, but the majority of our kids want to compete. And, we go in there with no expectation. The only thing I ask is to be polite, respectful, and do your best and no crying. Like my kids know I don't want them to cry, because sometimes when they cry, that's an excuse for them to use. And I'm like, nope, shake hands, give a hug, and that's the outcome of that, My wife teaches the kids. She's amazing. If I had a student and I was outside looking in, I would definitely want her to train my kid, because she's firm but fair. Mm-hmm. It's tough love, but there's love in the tough, So yeah.
Where did you get your toughness from?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm the baby of 4, but knowing and seeing my oldest sister I was exposed to her and, some domestic violence then, and just wanting to make a difference. I didn't want to just be, somebody who didn't impact, somebody who didn't try to help someone else. My mom was always trying to help people and giving, and that just became my nature. I guess the toughness came from working at the sheriff's office. I was a 911 dispatcher, and hearing the stuff and not being able to come through that phone to help them and save them. How can I make that difference?
I want to help you.
What is the Grappling for Life program that you have at your gym?
So Grappling for Life, we started that initially when I was diagnosed with cancer. We went through a time where I was actually working at the hospital at the time, and I only had 1 week of PTO time. And I was going to be out of work at least 6 weeks. And we were like, oh no. At the same time, we had a student who just lost her dad. Mom primarily spoke Spanish. She wrote us a check and said, she can't train anymore. I can't afford it. Her dad is dying. And within like 2 weeks, he had passed away. And I said, we can't let her leave. She needs this. She needs an outlet. And I can remember that little girl walking into the gym after her dad had passed and just pounding on the bags. And I said, get it out, girl. You have it. You have this channel. And we have one of our coaches, Dale, who's been with us since opening, and give us that mentorship and that, no, you guys can do this. Quit your job at the hospital. Come here full time. And we're like, what? No. And we started the program, and he donated our first $500 and to get it going. And so basically, we take donations for that, and anyone who can't afford to train, they, obviously that they show proof. If it's like a medical situation or anything, it's not just like, oh, I can't pay. There's got to be substantial behind it. They train, and then we go through evaluation, and we make sure that they're making a difference. What are their grades at school? What does home life look like? Do we need to get you connected with a church or a pastor or a counselor just to keep it going? So it's not just in-house training. It's making sure their community is involved as well.
You mentioned about your gym too, obviously 9,000 square feet now, but you're looking to expand even further. You want to expand that to children that find it maybe hard financially to maybe afford judo and other types of jiu-jitsu. How do you plan on helping those kids?
Just one day at a time, and
My husband doesn't know how to say no.
Just do my best. With the grappling for life, we since day one, we paid for everything.
Yeah. If we don't have the funds or we haven't had donations, there for a couple years I was writing grants that I don't know a lot about. So I was doing it on a whim and putting everything I could into it. And, Lake County has supported us. And then the last 2 years I've missed the deadline, but we don't turn them away. What we've stepped up and asked our families, hey, if there's we've got a couple students that may need a gi, or we've got a couple students that need a couple weeks of summer camp. Does anybody want to donate? And we are very blessed with our families who said, Coach, I got you. I want to sponsor them.
See one gi or two gi is not that bad. But when it's like 30 or 40, 50 gis with rash guards, this and that has a toll. And, with that, I think God put us in position as a platform to reach out, and to show them love, give them hope, give them. I want to play it forward because someone played it forward for me. One was a mentor for me, and then now it's like, well, what am I gonna do to the next generation to help? And we're gonna play it forward, and we're gonna talk about that conversation. Okay, now that you've been helped, who are you gonna help? So it has to be that. And
that brings up another point. What's the most rewarding part of being a jiu-jitsu instructor? Because seeing kids come from like the bottom and then become maybe a black belt at some point, that's got to be really hugely rewarding for you.
Even more than that is I want them to be a good person. I want them to their mom or dad to come to me and tell them, my son is not the same, my daughter's not the same, or who's this kid? That is good. We all want our kids to be world champions, but I prefer them to be a good person.
We have one student that I can think from the very beginning. He started with us when he was, 4 or 5, both parents in law enforcement, and it's the grandchild. And I look at him today, and he's taller than me, and, hey, Coach Annie, I love you. And I'm like, doing great in school, and just the attitude, and same thing. Jiu-jitsu changed his life. And it's, to me, I feel because we took the time to get to know him, to get to know his family, and just show him heart, show him the love from, within.
I want them to know that our students are family, and that truly means, we truly mean that. It's when you come a part of the team, you are a family. We do go to birthday parties. We do go to
the schools and have lunch with them as an incentive. Hey, you do good, and we'll come have lunch with you. Or someone's getting bullied, we come in and they walk a little prouder. Or we used an incentive of, okay, you get all good marks all week long. We'll take you to the car show at the end of the week.
As far as you go, Annie, when did you start doing jiu-jitsu? When was it like, okay, I enjoy doing this? Like, I don't know how people get into it, or is it a sport that you're like, because they don't really teach it at like high school levels or stuff like that. It seems like it's something that you piques your interest and then you get into it.
I didn't start until we started dating. I said, I'm not doing that. I don't want people's feet in my face. That's gross. I'll just do kickboxing.
Yeah.
I said, I wanted that. He goes, it's okay. You couldn't handle my class. So I said, okay, challenge accepted. And then I started doing it, and coming from, being in a domestic violence situation myself, I said, wait, I can protect myself. I can get a bigger person off of me as small as I am. No way, really? Or like in a rape situation, I can stop it from happening and be able to get away. And instantly I was hooked. So.
And I'm glad she did, because it made life so much easier. That when we go to work together.
That's the best part of my day.
I love that. People don't like that. I actually love it.
Yeah.
Hey, I can attest to that. I work with my wife here, so it's awesome to have that, and you're able to work with each other, which is a terrific thing for you guys. Looking forward, what are your plans for the future as well? What do you want out of the gym as far as that goes, moving forward?
My goal is to have enough space to at least 1,000 students. That's my goal, and I think that's very reachable. But I want to reach kids, so I need the space with different things. I want some to do judo. I want them to do boxing. I want them to whatever gets the kids off the video games and into the gym. They can do that, but I'd rather them have some self-defense thing, because it's going to go forever with them.
Yeah.
That's what I want. So.
As far as you mentioned self-defense too, I took a self-defense class in college, and in this day and age, I feel like it's very good to have self-defense, especially for women.
Right. And that's the biggest key is they look at the jiu-jitsu and they think, oh, this is just for men. I'm like, no, check this out. And so one of the things that we do in our classes is Coach David, I'll teach the kids class, and then I'll come into the adult class. He'll teach primarily the move, and then we take all the women to one side. And as they're learning that specific move to the adult women, because I don't necessarily I use different verbiage for the teens, I'll tell them, hey, look, if something were to happen to you on the street, look what you can do to stop it. And you see their eyes just light up with so much confidence. It blows me away.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to wrap up the Sports Hub next.
Are you ready for your future to take flight? Whether you're graduating high school or looking to level up, Lake Sumter State College offers affordable degrees and certificates that will punch your ticket to success in a rewarding career. Plus, with programs like Direct Connect to UCF, your opportunities with LSSC are endless. So, what are you waiting for? Join us in Leesburg, Claremont, Sumterville, Four Corners, or online. Learn more at lssc.edu.
Hey, everybody, we are back here on the Sports Hub podcast. I want to thank both Annie and David for coming on to the show. Amazing what you guys have built over there at Mount Dora with your Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Wanted to talk real quick before we ended the program about your principles and what you guys teach over there.
Okay, babe, go ahead.
Go for it.
The most important thing is this, to me, is a good person. I want my students to be a good person. I can make anybody good. All right. Usually the kids that are really good is coming in, they have an attitude, they have a chip on their shoulder. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the what I want. I want them to start being good person, and then we take it from there. Because with that being said, is if I'm doing a move, they're the first one to go say, hey, I have you, I'll do you. The other person would be like, I want the best guy. I don't care about this guy. That's what I don't want. And, if our faith has a lot to do with that. And it's just let's help one another, We're all here in this world, and you don't know what they're going through, and they could be smiling inside and crying, smiling outside and crying inside. But by you giving them that tender little affection and love, you can make their day and change their attitude. but it's one day at a time.
What's the most important principle you teach, Annie?
Ooh, the most important is respect. Because no matter where you go, no matter how bad it is, no matter how ugly someone's being to you, if you have respect and you show other people respect, they can't say anything about you because your actions reflect who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
as far as your youth coaches go, you got a bunch of youth coaches as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Not too bad.
I love our youth coaches. We have 3 right off the top of my head that we spend a great deal of time with. They come in and they help out with our after-school program. They come in during our summer camp. Throughout our summer camp, we don't just do jiu-jitsu. You know, we're playing games with them. We're doing art with them. Every kid goes home with a Bible. If they don't have a Bible, we have different churches come in. But the impact that they make, they get their volunteer hours for the scholarships. Mm-hmm. And then as they're going up through their ranks, there's our future blue belt. There's our future purple belt. We have one student alone that he's been a shining star. You know, he just stepped up and said, "Can I help?" I'm like, "Sure, absolutely." And you give a little tidbit, and now he takes portions of the class where I can go and be with the women, and he's leading that section. Mm-hmm. And again, it's our future.
Yeah.
That's who they are.
And it's an exciting future as well for both of you, and we can't wait to see what you guys are able to do in the next couple of years. So I want to thank you both for coming on to our program. That's going to wrap things up on the Sports Hub. I want to thank our partners that make it all happen, UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics and Lake Sumter State College. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. We'll see you on the next edition of the Sports Hub.
This has been the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.